Hey, it's Juan. Welcome to the April issue of your VMSA SITREP. Now we're here at DU for the second ever VMSA Summit, bringing together leaders, vets, spouses, allies from across the firm. Now I'd like to introduce our special guest. She is a tax manager, New York City based, Jamaica native, Army veteran. Me, Sonia Hannum.
Hi everyone, Sonia Adam here, out of the New York office, tax manager in the GI3 practice, government incentives.
Let me tell you Sonia's story. We have over 3,000 vets at Deloitte. Of those, 57 of them are in the tax practice. Look, people tend to be CPAs, which you are.
Yes.
And it's hard to be compatible with military life.
Mm-hmm.
You've done both. In fact, you were a heavy wheel mechanic. You were working on armored up Humvees. Your training had you taking that thing out of a slogged mud pit hole
Yes.
and taking it apart and put it back together.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about your journey from Jamaica to initial training in the winter in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
So I migrated here to the U.S. When I was 21. Joined the Army in 2010, 2010. Doing basic in Fort Leonard Wood was definitely a different ballgame. Imagine coming from Jamaica, tropical island.
Right.
I like to say 96 degrees in the shade, and then doing basic training in Fort Leonard Wood in the wintertime.
Right.
It's a running joke. I'm sure a lot of Army people will say 6 different seasons in one day. It could be negative 20 in the morning, 105 degrees in the daytime, and go back down. So it was definitely a transition. Doing basic training in Fort Leonard Wood.
Would you say, I'd like to think that those experiences, being a tax manager for Deloitte in New York and earning your stripes at boot camp in Fort Leonard Wood, I think that experience in some way informs your work ethic and how you come out your job now.
Yes, it gives you a sense of determination, because as you know, when you join the Army, it sort of breaks you down and then builds you
That's
back
right.
up. So it instills the determination or the drive in you. And then, transitioning into a career here at Deloitte, sometimes the hours are demanding or the requirements, but the determination that the military instills in you helps you to give you that extra push, or whether it be, working the long hours to meet the deadlines, or working the hours, but at the same time studying to get the qualifications
Right.
needed for the profession. And also having a life outside
You
of
gotta have a life.
outside of it.
Tell our readers what your father said. You said you were going to Army boot camp.
My dad said when I told him I was joining the Army, he was like, huh? Why? Why would you do that? I don't think you're going to make it. My dad is a man of very few words, like I was saying, so it just took him for a shock, and he was like, no, why would you do it? He kept repeating these phrases, like, no, I don't think you're going to make it. So it's not underestimating my skills, it was a matter of, it's the Army. The Army requires a lot. I knew he would have been proud of me to graduate, but just the fact to see his baby girl joining the Army, being put to the test, the training and whatnot, it took him for a loop, and he was like, no, I don't think so.
But I bet his chest is pumped out.
Yes.
He's very proud.
Yes, so happy. He was so proud. When I was at military training, as you know, boot camp, you don't have cell phones. So, to write a letter, he was so happy to get letters. And then when I said I was going to graduate and whatnot, very excited, very proud. Tells all his friends and loves to see, because in the military I kept my maiden name. So he loved to see his name.
On your name tag.
On my name tag, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, very proud moment for me.
Sonia, thanks for sharing your story. To me, it's our greatest tradition. Coming to this country, earning a place at the American table through your service. I think you'd agree, in retrospect, you kind of wish you'd done the Navy. But other than that...
We could crack Navy jokes all day.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being a part of it.
No problem. Thank you for everything you're doing for the firm, and for creating this group or this circle, so that veterans can have the support as they transition into the firm, making their steps.
Perfect. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy this issue. Fly Navy.